Dex's Diner. Tucked in the grungy heart of CoCo Town, Dex's Diner serves up greasy Nerf steaks, chili cheese dogs, and bottomless caf and mugs of Jawa juice, but don't ask what's in it. Run by four-armed ex-prospector Dex the Jetster, this chrome and vinyl joint feels like a retro holofilm set complete with locals trading rumors and a droid waitress that match the joint's aesthetic. Even Jedi swing by. Obi-Wan once dropped in for food and forensics when Dex famously ID'd a Kaminoan saber dart. The gossip's hot, the grill's hotter, and if Dex doesn't know something, it probably isn't worth knowing. Ogre's Cantina. In the heart of Black Spire Outpost on Batuu, Ogre's Cantina thumped with energy, neon glow, and a strict no blasters policy. Run by reclusive crime boss Ogre Gara, the bar's guarded neutrality made it the watering hole of choice for smugglers, resistance agents, and undercover First Order scouts. RX-24, yes, the same Rex from Star Tours, DJs under the name R3X, spinning mod beats while patrons sip fuzzy tauntauns and Gamorrean ale from chunky, non-glass mugs. Trouble rarely lasts long here. Ogre's got a reputation for swift justice and a soundproof back room. Drink fast, talk quiet, and never outstay your welcome. Chalmun's Spaceport Cantina. Dusty, loud, and definitely dangerous, Chalmun's Cantina was a Mos Eisley institution. Owned by a Wookiee, staffed by Wuher, the perpetually cranky bartender, and famous galaxy-wide for banning droids and attracting gunfights. The drinks flowed, Corellian ale, Jawa juice, maybe something stronger, and the tapas-style menu was mostly edible, if you like sand in your snacks. It's where Luke met Han, but that's just one deal among thousands. Bounty postings cluttered the walls, and if you squinted through the smoke, you could catch a spy, a smuggler, or someone planning a very short-lived bounty career. Ronto Roasters. Located on Merchant Row on Batuu, Ronto Roasters was a ramshackle restaurant where a salvaged podracer engine slow-roasted Ronto under the watchful photoreceptors of 8D-J8, a repurposed smelter droid turned pitmaster. The wraps were massive, dripping with sweet-spiced Bakar rub and best paired with a cold Tatooine sunset juice. Seating was limited and the heat was intense, so locals usually didn't stick around. Between the aroma and the occasional droid meltdown, it was a favorite for travelers and resistance runners looking for a fast meal and maybe some second-degree burns with their lunch. Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo. Another Black Spire establishment, Docking Bay 7 was part mess hall, part mobile kitchen, and part covert rendezvous spot. Chef Strono Cookie Tuggs parked his freighter, Tuggs Grub, on the roof and served Endorian tip-yip, Volusian garden spread, and spiced Pirjanud chicken to hungry Outpost regulars. Freight crates became tables, and clanking forks helped drown out whispered resistance chatter. The vibe was utilitarian but weirdly cozy, with galactic comfort food that fueled everything from droid mechanics to rebel agents. Cat Sucker's Kettle. Cat Sucker's Kettle was a tiny food stall with galaxy-sized street cred. Batuu native, Cat Sucker, popped ancient heirloom grains using an antique kettle rig, spinning them into her signature Outpost mix. A salty sweet snack that was allegedly addictive. It was popular with travelers looking for something light, especially when paired with a chilled blue milk. Smugglers would often stock up by the sack, as Outpost mix was compact, non-perishable, and weirdly profitable on backwater worlds. The Milk Stand. Bright, fast, and slightly surreal, the Milk Stand was where Batuu locals and tourists alike queue up for icy blue and green milk, served chilled, frozen, or cooler if you're into spiked breakfast. Blue milk was piped in from Bubba Wumba Farms, while the green variety hailed all the way from Uchto. Pastries were on offer in the mornings, but most stopped by for the refreshing weirdness and the taste of the milk. Crown of Corellia dining room. Aboard the Halcyon Starcruiser, dining became a full-blown performance art. The Crown of Corellia served buffet-style breakfasts by day
but by night, it transformed into the immersive Taste Around the Galaxy dinner, complete with galactic fusion dishes like Felucian blue shrimp and a live set from Twi'lek sensation Gaia. The captain's table offered the best seats, and maybe some classified intel as well. Bistro de Lothal. Located, intuitively enough, on Lothal, Bistro de Lothal was a semi-upscale restaurant that served 4-course meals during the Empire's reign. 125 credits got you crystal mushroom soup, sautéed greens from 5 systems, a great chop, and Jogan fruit souffle. Street artists regularly graffitied the walls of the restaurant with anti-imperial slogans. Goodvalor's Little Bivoli. Opened during the Mandalorian Wars by the ever-hustling Marn hieroglyph, Goodvalor's Little Bivoli was an upscale restaurant on Coruscant. Founded by Griff under the alias of Captain Benegriff Goodvalor, Goodvalor's Little Bivoli was part of a larger chain owned by Griff. The chain was Coruscant-based and it offered outdoor seating, candlelight dining, and a good quality menu. Tan-Tek's Roast-Basted Bantha Ribs. Downwind of Docking Bay 99, Tan-Tek's Roast-Basted Bantha Ribs specialized in, well, Bantha ribs. Tan-Tek, the proprietor, slow roasted the ribs over open flame, basting them with a secret dewback fat glaze. The smell hit visitors before they could even see the shack, and it never washed out of their clothes. It was a pit stop for smugglers and swoop racers on the go, with ribs boxed to travel and bones reused as makeshift speeder shims. Power sliders. Greasy, loud, and somehow still running as of the Clone Wars, power sliders slung bite-sized burgers to miners and mercs in dusty Ponzora. You might remember it from Star Wars The Clone Wars, in which it was the place where D-Squad encountered the amnesiac clone commando, Gregor. Before rediscovering his past, he washed dishes here under a haze of amnesia and burnt grease. Navarro City Cafe. With chalkboard specials and open-air seating, Navarro City Cafe served up hearty frontier fare. Roast Nuna, Milarun bowls, and Kadu ribs, among other things. Its patio overlooks Greef Karga's courthouse. Great for people watching, bad for avoiding bounty hunters. The place doubled as an unofficial neutral zone for mercenaries and Mandalorians alike. It was a local hangout with galaxy-spanning problems, as seen in The Mandalorian. Bantha Tracks. Once a club called Vortex, Bantha Tracks was a Liana-based restaurant located not far from CNR Fleet Systems headquarters, where CNR's designers came up with new TIE Fighter designs. Yin Vokta's Bantha Tracks served Bantha stew under thumping hollow rock, all beneath a neon Bantha head mounted over the entrance. The annual Gathering of the Herd brought in top Outer Rim bands and rowdy fans from all across the sector, from all across the galaxy even. Biscuit Baron. The Republic's most aggressively franchised breakfast chain, Biscuit Baron built its empire on Bantha breakfast biscuits and unhinged marketing. Owned by Tagico, it peaked during the Clone Wars, with toy-packed meal crates and patriotic holo ads. One promo created a gelatinous, giant amorphous biscuit that briefly achieved sentience as the extensive preservatives used in Biscuit Baron's food bonded with the Bantha genetic material in the biscuit and created a living creature. Tagico, the chain's owner, was one of the galaxy's largest and most powerful corporations and one of the few galactic conglomerates to side with the Republic during the Clone Wars. Tagico was ardently loyalist, and under its management, the Biscuit Baron promoted the Republic war effort as well as the Republic in general. Just prior to the Clone Wars, it even began issuing trading cards with its meals, each based on real Republic heroes. The Jedi Order was a little peeved about Yoda and other prominent masters being made into collectibles, but Tagico justified this initiative as a way to bolster patriotism. Club Tarsus. If velvet, smoke, and felony charges are your thing, Club Tarsus on Canto Bight had you covered. When Delphus's seedy den of sin offered strong drinks, live Twi'lek bands, and a back room where fake IDs outnumbered real ones. It's where scoundrel K. Vess swiped a forged identity card before dodging a hit squad from the Sixth Kin, as shown in Star Wars Outlaws. The place was half nightclub, half crime syndicate HQ. Crescent Royale Casino Dining Room. The Crescent Royale was where old money eats while watching fathers sprint for their next fortune. It was a decidedly elegant establishment, down to the embroidered napkins and world-renowned chefs on staff. This place was also the site of a few shootouts, including one in 3 ABY and another in 34 ABY. The 4.5. Hidden between levels 124 and 125, the 4.5 was more rumor than restaurant, an illegal speakeasy with no permits and less dignity. It was home to Minok pit fights, live Hintaro gambling, and sabak tables rigged in ways even the best slicers could admire. Wookiee Dedrick champion Yao Rocca held the high score as of the Galactic Civil War, and though challenges are welcome, the wise ones keep the old aphorism about letting Wookiees win in mind. The 4.5 was loud, lawless, and technically not supposed to exist, which only added to its charm. The Vapor Room. Once a vapor collection facility, the Vapor Room was an Ugnaught-run dive bar where the air was as thick as the regrets. Jedi Master Ram Koda once drowned his sorrows here, nursing drinks in the dim corners until Starkiller hauled him back to relevance. No music, no windows, and no judgment. Just strong pause and cheap talk. The Vapor Room was an excellent place to disappear to, even if the grimy industrial setting left much to be desired. Gale's Central Club. Floating high over the Tabana shafts, Gale's Central Club was all class. Chandeliers fueled by Tabana gas, live Bith jazz flown in for Founders Day, and gas barons sealing million-credit deals over Wyren's reserve. Owned by smooth-talking operator Gale, the club's reputation was pure velvet, unless you crossed the owner. Gale's Central Club was Cloud City's crown jewel, the place where the wealthy went to drink. Paradise Atrium. High above the Tabana mist, Paradise Atrium lived up to its name, with broad windows, a central statue, and comfortable couches for visitors to lounge on. It was normally a quiet bar for off-duty execs and dreamers, but during the Iron Blockade, Voras the Hutt briefly claimed it as his HQ. Voras and his IVAC syndicate assisted rebel operatives in opposing Imperial forces in the Greater Javan after the Battle of Endor, and the Paradise Atrium became the rebels' favoured meeting spot during the Iron Blockade. Gep's Grill. Run by Whippet partners Norun Gep and Philin Tarr, Gep's Grill was a back alley meat haven in Mos Eisley, known for dewback ribs, platter steaks, and side-eye glances if you asked where today's Bantha came from. Meals are hot, fast, and cheap, perfect for smugglers in a hurry and locals with strong stomachs. Gep's Grill was the main business partner of Spaceport Express, a small messenger service operating throughout Mos Eisley. Bubbling Mud Cafe. Deep in the icy, steep-sided valley known as the Plawal Rift, the Bubbling Mud Cafe on Belsavis serves archaeologists and dig teams poking through ancient Rakatan vaults. According to Luke Skywalker, among others, it was the only decent restaurant on all of Belsavis. Happy's Landing. Happy's Landing was a quiet alehouse located in the bad part of Il Avali on Druckenwell. It was quiet in the afternoons, but it came to life in the evening, offering music, spicy food, and a wide selection of drinks, including Elba water and Trooper breath. During the Galactic Civil War, Tinian Iat used the bar as a hiding place while fleeing from Imperial agents. Restaurant Galatina. Restaurant Galatina was a Coruscant-based establishment active during the time of the Galactic Alliance. Little is known about it for sure, but dining there was apparently expensive, and visitors could acquire Membrosia there. Membrosia was extremely addictive for insectoids, and at restaurant Galatina, it went for 1,000 credits per liter. The Blue Nebula. Originally featured in the Droids cartoon, the Blue Nebula was a glowing dive full of blaster scorch marks, blacklight murals, and bad decisions located on the planet Manda. The Blue Nebula had a jukebox and a seedy atmosphere, and during the time of the Empire, it was where R2-D2, C-3PO, and Mungo Baobab met with an informant by the name of Crocs. Bantha Quick. Bantha Quick was fast food at light speed. Hover Scoot Courier's Zip Tuscan Specials, Ethor Delights, and Calamaria Surprise straight to Starship Bays. Everything was ordered via holo menu, paid in advance, and rarely above 7 credits. It was also used by forgers to ferry encrypted codes and forged documents to Starship captains, usually in the guise of condiment packets. Half takeout hub, half dead drop depot, Bantha Quick was the kind of place where you could get your food and your next heist in under 5 minutes. Akim's Munch. Hot sun, hotter tempers. Akim's Munch was Mos Esper's favourite street-side pit stop for pod races and pit crews. Sebulba was a regular, usually snarling over undercooked Nuna while fans begged for hollows. Gungan ambassador Jar Jar Binks once spilled a full bowl of Gorg stew here, triggering a brawl that scattered tipperoos and fried fruit across the outdoor dining area. Quinlan Vos also happened to be present at the time. Akim's Munch sometimes hosted live music, including a Bith band and the Jawa musician Tilly Tilly. Aft Deck Diner. Located in the bizarre deck of the Kuwari Princess, the Aft Deck Diner sold itself as cheap eats from a dozen worlds. It was, as the slogan suggested, cheap to eat at, but its servings were nonetheless quite generous, and it was known for its Rhodian cooking. As far as Starship fare went, the Aft Deck liner was about as good as it got. Hungry Herglick. Designed for the galaxy's largest appetites, Hungry Herglick was a lakeside diner with booths wide enough for a full pod racing crew or one very hungry Herglick. Located near the Lake Air Hotel on Lemire 4 in the Tapani sector, the Hungry Herglick was well trafficked as Lemire 4 was one of the Tapani sector's most popular destinations, the site of the famed Prioldana Festival. Bath Rabbits. Bath Rabbits was one of the best eateries on Kularin, renowned for its high-quality cuisine. An upscale bistro in Gadron Central Plaza, it was extraordinarily popular even among agents of the dark side. The Dark Jedi, Kare Nalvas, once booked a private room here for secret briefings, and more ordinary Jedi were known to have visited the establishment as well. Exovar's Emporium. Hidden beneath a frozen valley on Neftali, Exovar's Emporium was part dive bar, part museum, part you break the rules, you die here hospitality suite. Run by legendary scout Luskan Exovar, it served smugglers, hunters, and fringers on the edge of legality. Guests entered via Ion Alley, which got its name from the defensive ion cannons that lined it, and the Emporium itself was guarded by a dismembered AT-AT head and 2 reprogrammed assassin droids. Inside was a sunken bar pit, Z95s hanging from the ceiling, lightsabers and shielded display, and rooms themed like rebel hideouts. Those who broke the no blasters rule were liable to be tossed out into the snow by the head of security, Red Eye. Survive, and the 5 credit special of the day was surprisingly decent. Koko Noodle. Koko Noodle was a simple food cart on the outer rim world of Haley, run by a vendor named CoCo and beloved for its spicy noodles. Jedi Padawan Imri Kantaros considered it his favourite place to eat during his posting at Port Haley. In 230 BBY, the cart was destroyed during a Nihil pirate attack, devastating Imri, who later tried to repair it with the Force. Mala's Kitchens. Tucked into a cave across from Kalaun's main landing zone on Ryloth, Mala's Kitchens was equal parts eatery, refuge, and intelligence hub. Run by the fiercely respected Mala and her Twi'lek serving staff, the canteen served rye crit stew, fermented fungus ale, and hearty munch fungus bread, all for just 5 credits. Spacers knew that if Mala liked you, you were safe. She once hid a rebel pilot, Platt O'Keefe, from would-be assassins in the back caves. Burnout Cafetorium. Built into the massive Burnout space station above Jam Hla, the Burnout Cafetorium was an auditorium-style dining hall serving station personnel and visitors alike. It could seat hundreds at once, with a kitchen capable of feeding them all. Run during the Clone Wars by droid staff led by Chef Puppy. A Deveronian hollow band often played live music during mealtimes. The cafetorium became a scene of chaos when a Trandoshan thief named Zirosk fled through it after stealing a starship component. Patrons included Celestins, Bothans, and Wookiees, some of whom gave the pursuing heroes of Kularin key intel on his escape route. Buzzies. If you're craving insects in Mos Eisley, Buzzies has you covered. Praised in the Galactic Phrasebook and Travel Guide by renowned linguist Eben Q3 Baobab, Buzzies served a fully insect-based menu, most famously its larvae dishes. Baobab called them the best larvae in the Outer Rim and included the spot in his list of Mos Eisley's finest eateries. Café Tatoo II. Café Tatoo II was a quiet, shaded cafe located near the Twin Shadows Inn in Mos Eisley, named after Tatoo II, one of the system's twin suns. Its balcony overlooked Kerner Plaza, offering a rare bit of calm in the dusty chaos of Tatooine's busiest spaceport. A GG series hospitality droid named GG8 served there for years. The cafe was a favorite stop for Annalene Culwell and her husband Dinar, and later became a peaceful meeting spot during her early friendship with Ben Kenobi in 19 BBY. Jekk'Jekk Tarr. Of all the cantinas and dives in the galaxy, few were as exotic and unconventional as the Jekk'Jekk Tarr. Located in Nar Shaddaa's refugee sector, north of the docks, the Jekk'Jekk Tarr was originally a set of ventilation ducts that vented waste gases away from the docks, but it was later converted into a bar. Jekk'Jekk Tarr was far from your usual bar though. Instead of food or drink, it served cyanogen gas, which filled the whole bar. Cyanogen was highly toxic to humans, Niktos, and others, but for many other species, it was an intoxicant, and so many aliens came to Jekk'Jekk Tarr to get drunk on the fumes. The gas also served as a social buffer. Just entering Jekk'Jekk Tarr was lethal for species cyanogen was harmful to, so the bar was frequented by beings that hated humans and wanted some away time from them. Jekk'Jekk Tarr was divided into 5 rooms, each with different environments for the different kinds of aliens to enjoy. The entry room was full of ordinary cyanogen and had decorations that catered to those who could see into the infrared spectrum, while an adjoining room was kept hot and dry for the benefit of those from desert planets. 2 rooms were filled with ammonia as well as cyanogen, allowing ammonia-breathing species to walk around without breath masks for a change, while the last room, a private lounge owned by the exchange crime lord Visquis, was kept humid for the benefit of amphibious species. All told, Jekk'Jekk Tarr was a place where just walking in could get you killed, and even if the cyanogen didn't get you, the many rough types that frequented the place would. The Drunk Side. During the old Sith Wars, a single settlement was built on lifeless Korriban, the small settlement of Dreshte. This settlement had a single small cantina paid for by the Zerka Corporation, fittingly known as the Drunk Side. This bar served a variety of drinks, and it had at least one regular gambler, Tol Apkar, who played Pazark with visitors. Most visitors to the Drunk Side were freighter pilots of smugglers popping in for a drink before leaving Dreshte, while others were Sith Masters from the local academy. The Drunk Side was usually quiet, and most visitors didn't stick around for long for fear of catching the attention of the Sith. But a few came to the Drunk Side with special business, as the cantina had a secret. The bartender, Micah Doran, was also an arms dealer with extensive connections, and he sold premium weapons and equipment to select visitors. Javiar's Cantina. Prior to its destruction during the Jedi Civil War, the lower city of Taris was home to Javiar's Cantina, a rough and tumble establishment with great atmosphere. The cantina was dimly lit, run down, and its walls were scored with blaster burns, but both the drinks and the music were legendary. Javiar's Cantina served a variety of food and drink, including the famously strong Tarizian ale, and the speakers constantly blasted alien, bass-heavy music. Javiar's Cantina also offered gambling, Twi'lek dances, and a diverse clientele, although there were many rough types among the regulars, including exchange thugs and bounty hunters. Javiar's Cantina also hosted the local bounty office, run by Zax, a hut that worked both for the Taris government and the crime lord Davik Kang. Buffo's Blurg Burgers. Lastly, there's Buffo's Blurg Burgers, a restaurant that made cameo appearances in the many episodes of Star Wars The Bad Batch. This chain had restaurants on Ord Mantell, Sirius Space Station, and even remote lunar bases, among others. The chain specialized in blurgers, which were burgers made with blurg meat. Nothing else is known about the chain, although it was apparently quite successful and widespread. Anyways guys, that's it for our rundown on the known restaurants of the Star Wars galaxy, and make sure you let us know in the comments section below which restaurant you would frequent if you were a citizen of the galaxy at large. Make sure you let us know that in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.